Christmas is only in a few weeks, and while that is excellent news, for some people it may lead to some stress regarding potential weight gain during that period. You know, Christmas, there's going to be this huge mountain of foods, and then there's going to be this downfall of your will to exercise and eat healthily, and so it can just be really hard for you to maintain your figure if that's what you are looking to do. Studies do show that holiday weight gain is a real thing, and that the weight you gain there can be pretty difficult to lose later on. But thankfully, I have a few hacks, a few tips to share with you so that you can focus entirely on Christmas and your Christmas holidays and not on the fear of gaining weight. So the first hack you can do to prevent holiday weight gain during Christmas is to use smaller plates. This is very simple and easy, yet super efficient. It's very logical when you think about it. If you decide to eat a smaller meal portion because you're not hungry, you're not as hungry that day and just want to reduce your portion, but if you end up eating that on a regular sized plate, then the portion will seem very small. So either this will push you to get a second helping, in which case the whole reducing your portion size was pointless, or you will not get a second helping, but you probably won't feel as satisfied and you'll end up snacking or even binging later on. If you use a smaller plate, then it will seem much fuller, and this will trick you into thinking that you're eating this huge abundance of food. Now, I really want to point out that this should not be done if you are hungry. If you force yourself to eat a small portion and you're still hungry after that, don't do it. Just eat your regular size portion. I'm just talking about the fact that sometimes at Christmas we're not hungry, we just eat because it's time to eat, and the fact that having a small portion on a big plate may kind of make you feel like you need more when you're actually not really hungry. And I hope that this is clear. I'm really not suggesting that you should starve yourself. The second hack is to brush your teeth or chew gum right after meals. During the holidays, the time in between each meal usually are kind of less distinct than normally, and you rarely go a long time without having any food. And there's always tons of snacks or stuff to eat that is lying around. If you finish eating lunch at like 3 and then you have some gingerbread cookies at 4, and then you start cooking dinner at 5, and you taste test everything that you're cooking, then obviously you're going to be overeating and not feeling too well. If you brush your teeth or chew gum right after a meal, this signals to your brain that the meal is over and that now you're on a no food break until the next one. And also it will prevent you from just taking a bite, like a little cookie or a little bite of something that is lying around, because you won't want to ruin your fresh breath over it. Trust me, it actually works. And also, chewing gum while you cook can prevent you from tasting everything and then being completely full by the time it's actually time to eat. The third hack may be a little bit surprising, and is the fact that you should not save your calories beforehand. What do I mean when I say save your calories? I mean that some people think that if they eat nothing like the week before, like holiday meal or something like that, that then they will be allowed to splurge during that meal. And that is something I really do not recommend. It can really backfire pretty quickly. The thing is, restricting your calories will lead to binging, because you're preparing your brain, you're preparing yourself, you're telling yourself, okay, I'm not eating a lot right now so that I can eat more later on. So you're kind of setting yourself up for a binge. And also this will leave you starving and in need of nutrients, so you're less likely to make adequate food decisions when the time comes. It will lead to eating way past fullness, feeling sick, feeling ashamed and guilty, and then going on this binge then restrict cycle that we do not want to get on. What you should be doing is just eating regular, healthy, full and balanced meals, and just trying to be really in tune with your hunger cues so that when Christmas comes, you can know how to be in tune with your hunger cues. And I'm going to talk about that in a little more detail later on. The fourth tip is to drink water all day. This isn't news. Everybody knows how important it is to drink water, and that you should be drinking even if you don't feel thirsty. And this is especially important during Christmas time or the holiday season, because you're going to be eating a lot. It's important to stay hydrated in between the meals. And also it's very easy if you replace your alcoholic beverages or soda or juice or everything that you're going to be drinking. If you just replace that with water, you're going to cut out so many extra calories. Drinking also impairs your judgment, and it can cause you to overconsume and to be less in tune with your hunger cues and to eat things that you normally wouldn't have eaten. So along with the calories that you won't be getting in from not drinking the alcohol, you will be probably avoiding more calories that way as well. And along with all of these things, water also makes you feel fuller, so you're less likely to be eating too much. Of course, you can totally get into the holiday spirit with some wine or any the alcohol of your choice, but other than that, like other than for Christmas Day and the New Year's, in the in-between times, try to focus on having water. For snacks, try to focus on having water instead of juice, for instance. And these are very easy things to do, and they will make an actual difference. If you don't like water, you can try having some sparkling water with a little bit of frozen fruit in it, and it's very good. The fifth tip is that you should try to practice mindful and intuitive eating. And I feel like I put this tip in every video, but I really think that it is super important. Intuitive eating is an evidence-based approach that aims to free you from food rules and regulations, and it involves many principles such as tuning in to your hunger and fullness cues, making peace with food, respecting your body, putting your health first, and it can really help you build a healthy relationship with food. And intuitive eating also involves eating mindfully, which means really being present when you eat, being fully conscious of what you're eating, and using the hunger and fullness scale in order to know when you should start eating and when you should stop eating. And this can be much harder to do during the holidays because you're probably distracted constantly, but it's really a good idea to try to tune out of all this chaos and tune into your personal hunger and fullness cues. Try to eat when you are hungry and not just because somebody is putting food in front of you. And also try to stop eating when you're actually full and not continue on eating until your plate is clean. I made a video specifically on how to eat intuitively during the holidays that you can find right here or in the description. The sixth little hack is to use the buddy system. You should try to find a friend or a family member that has the same goals as you and that wants to be mindful about their food consumption during the holidays, and so you can hold each other accountable. That way, if one of you loses motivation, the other one can take over, and you're less likely to stop all of your efforts when there are two of you. The seventh tip is to stock up on some healthier, lighter foods. It's very likely that among all of the super rich foods that there's going to be also some lighter foods, like some tomatoes, baby carrots, cauliflower among the appetizers, a nice vegetable soup before the meal, some roasted veggies to accompany the main course, a little fruit salad before the cake. It's usually much harder to overconsume these foods because they're very nutrient dense. And so it's a good idea to kind of fill up on them so that there will be less room for the rest of the foods that may not be as great for you. This is not really a question of not gaining weight, it's more so a question of feeling good and feeling fueled by the right foods, even during this period. The eighth tip is to get moving without even realizing it, and this is probably my favorite tip. Don't worry, I'm not here to tell you to run a 10K on Christmas morning or to hit the gym before every meal. That's just not realistic for most people, let's be honest, but I do have a few little tips to help you get moving without even really realizing it. The first thing, and probably my favorite thing, would be to do some Christmas activities. Go ice skating, walk around the neighborhood and look at Christmas lights, make a snowman, have a snowball fight, go Christmas shopping, go sledding, stroll around the Christmas market. These are all fun activities where you're going to be moving without realizing it, and also with the cold probably that you're going to be facing, then you're going to be burning off calories very easily. Another thing you can do is have a little family dance party. You can blast on some music and just dance with your family, and this is a great way to relieve some tension, to laugh a lot, and also to burn off some excess calories and get ready for the next meal, which is probably much too close to the previous meal. That's just the Christmas holidays. The last one is probably less known of, but it's actually really interesting. And the thing is, you should try to be a little bit more fidgety. This might seem a little bit weird, but I really noticed this in myself. I noticed that after having big meals, I would be more fidgety. I kind of tapped my foot more. I would shake my leg. I would play with random objects, move my fingers more. And I really felt like it was my body's natural way of just burning off some excess energy. So I decided to look looked into it and realized that it was actually a real thing called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. And if you're interested in reading about that, you can check out my blog post where you will be getting all of the sources, and that is in the description. And believe it or not, fidgeting like this actually consumes quite a bit of energy. So try it around next time. Don't just sit still at the table. Try to shake your foot, shake your leg, tap your fingers, do something with your hands. Any little random movement that isn't really difficult or tiring to do, but can just be a quick and easy way to burn off some energy. So there you have it, the 8 hacks to prevent holiday weight gain. And if you follow them, then you probably won't be facing any serious weight gain. But it's really important to remember that the holidays only last for a few days every year. So don't stress too much about it. Don't stress too much about gaining weight. Instead, focus on spending time with your loved ones and having a great time. And that is really what matters most. Again, I'm just trying to give you a few little tips, but please don't make this a big deal and don't make it something that consumes you over the holidays. Gaining weight is never the end of the world and shouldn't interfere with your holiday spirit. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it and subscribe, and see you on my next one. Bye.